Welcome back to episode 3 with one of my favorite people in the world, Felix Pastorius. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 3. Today we're here with my brother from another mother, Mr. Felix Xavier Pastorius.
Yes.
How you doing today?
I'm good. Great to see you. Thank you for having me.
Coming in. Fresh off a tour with Felder and probably my favorite drummer of all time, one of them, Keith Carlock. How was that?
And Jeff Coffin on sax as well.
Oh, Jeff Coffin.
Yeah, it was a week-long tour, 4 gigs, a couple rehearsals, and paid rehearsals as far as gigs go. You know.
Cha-ching!
We had a blast. It was amazing music. Original compositions by Jeff Coffin and also Felder as well. And yeah, it was a dream for me to be able to play with Keith. I couldn't tell him directly face to face because I didn't want to fanboy out too much. But it'd been my first time playing with him, and I also want to just talk about. I mean, we grew up listening to him. I remember one of the first things you ever played me on your headphones after I met you was a 55 recording, was Krantz's Greenwich Mean, and but Julius, my twin brother, has basically, for lack of a better term, based his entire drumming technique off of. And so I couldn't tell Keith that directly, but I told his wife that, so maybe she passed the info on. Yeah, it was a total fun blast. And Near's an amazing guitarist and songwriter too, so it was a lot of fun. Definitely Monster. It was a New York element more because, you know, you have both these guys, Near's from here, and then Keith obviously grew up well. Yeah, he grew up playing here. He was here for 25 years plus or something like that, so very New York vibe, great tour.
Yeah. Once I graduated high school in 2000, I was at the 55 bar every Thursday, checking out Wayne Krantz, Tim LaFave, Keith Carlock, and whenever you'd be in town, that's where we were.
That's right.
Every other Tuesday, Dave Bendy would be playing, holding down the fort, and that was my education for music.
We kind of took that over somewhat, you know, generationally. It was such a special time back then because you could see all these groups weekly and all these musicians weekly, like just shredding.
Yeah, just like from another planet.
Yeah.
I remember the first time hearing Wayne Krantz play, and it was me, my brother, and our good friend Andrew Murphy, and we were just cracking up, hysterically laughing, like we couldn't believe that this was actually happening.
Yeah, live in front of you, or like when they were doing the supergroups too, and it was like him and Aaron Rodgers playing together at the same time, or whatever. Yeah. Like just everybody was. Yeah. Why are you sitting so much taller than I am?
I don't know. It's just I
feel so intimidated right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just sitting up. I'm just playing. It's like
I feel bigger.
Yeah. I prefer to sit when I play, actually, for that reason. I don't want to be intimidated when I'm on stage. And a lot of people, like, when I walk off stage, they're like, oh my gosh, like you're so tall. Like I didn't even realize you're that big. And it was like, yeah, I don't want to be this imposing, you know, because music can be so visual, and it is great that there are certain aspects of music that is visual, for sure, 100%. But like, I want you to be also like present, listening to what's going on stage, listening to interaction, especially when it's instrumental music where there is a lot of improvisation going on at the same time. I don't want to be distracted by, you know, you're distracted by my great looks and being so tall and all that, you know. So I'm modest too. So
yeah.
You just did.
I'm sure everyone's been wondering how big Felix's hands are. I have pretty big hands, but let's check it out. He's an alien. This is his uncle right here.
Yep.
AT.
E.T. Yeah, that's the reason why I have such a wide spacing on my. This is my bass.
Yeah.
And I just played it for the first time in like 8 weeks, and I missed it so much. But yeah, that's the reason I have such wide spacing is because it works with my hands better, especially when I'm doing chordal things or when I'm doing like 3-finger stuff down here. My hands are so wide. If there's a smaller, it's just I can do it, but it's just this is comfortable. And it actually came from the 5-string I borrowed from you. I remember when I had that thing. That had 19-inch too, and I used to get as wide as I possibly could on the bridge. And I wanted to kind of copy that with this. So as you can see down here, it's just monstrous here. I mean, this is crazy. You can almost put like a nickel in between those.
What do you got on those? Aguilars?
Yeah, Aguilar DCBs. These are the ceramic bars. These are amazing. These sound awesome. I had originally, the Seymour Duncans, and then you might be able to not see because my legs are crossed, but originally I had the Seymour Duncans in here. And then Aguilar was coming out with this brand new pickup, and I wanted to test them out. And obviously, as you can tell, the dimensions of these pickups are quite narrow actually. So I brought it in. I played for a few months actually, toured and everything. I was with the Yellow Jackets at the time. I toured with these giant spaces in between here. It looked like a Mike Pope bass where you never know. Frankenstein, right? Exactly. And then I came in here and Joey immediately was like, okay, we gotta do something about that. Joey with his fine lines and his love of cars and both of them, Vinny too, obviously. Joey was like, we're gonna figure that out. And they just had these rosewood covers and threw them on there. Or they were pickup covers that we just routed out the size and just cut them in half too and just dropped them in. Yeah, so it's
like
fun.
A glove.
Yeah, I love it. It's a beautiful, and they make them now like this. I know they've made a couple basses that are copies of this, and they make this whole routed pickup cover thing too. I dig it.
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
We got box elder burl on there. We got ash.
Yeah, alder tone block.
Alder, 3-piece maple neck.
Yeah.
Nice Purple Heart stripe in there. Some other things, a pick.
Yeah, I've had this bass for.
Gonna flick it at fans.
6 years now. Is that possible?
Wow.
It's been that long or longer, 6 years, something like that. Yeah, it's grown on me. I really was not ready to play 6-string when I got it, and I was actually quite frustrated for a while. It's just there's so much more going on. You got to worry about your hand muting, and your technique is going to be completely altered by playing a 6-string. And I use this thing up here to help mute, and it does help for sure. But I had to reteach myself how to play. 6-string is just a totally different beast. I was used to playing the 5-string with a high C, but that's kind of standard muting, and because the C lays on your hand anyways, you really don't have to alter too much. But that B string, man, there were gigs I was like, all of a sudden I was like, what is it? Oh, that's me.
Yeah. What is that? I don't know, I can't get a tone out of it. Oh, you gotta mute it. Whole different beast. But once you start getting it, I think you see harmony in the whole
absolutely.
map.
It's an amazing instrument, and I always love piecing things together. With my teaching, for teaching myself and teaching students too, I always plan things based on, not always, but I'm very visual, and I like having mathematical sense about having perspective and balance on both the alterations and variance. It's a very balanced concept in using a certain size or shape. Like there's a reason that there's 27 frets on here. It's because when I drop this down, I have exactly 4.5 octaves between an A and an E flat, because I'm weird like that. Titrones. Oh, that's a good name for it. The tritone is the center.
You have, how many books do you have out now? Educating?
I have 3 books. Thank you for using the word educating. It's a little deceiving because it's a whole lot of notes and information in there. But I put them out 2.5 years ago. But it's just there's not a whole lot of explanation. And actually, the reason I did that is really I want you to just have notes that you can choose and pull from, and to develop your own rhythmic idea and harmonic concept. And, these things it's not supposed to be a Bible. You're not supposed to say, this is what I'm going to live by these notes only. It's supposed to be, here's an option of a way to and in that way it is kind of like the Bible. Live a way that you want to, get guided by these notes,
Right.
But there's no explanation whatsoever. There's like a set of rules at the beginning, and it's literally just page after page after page and pages. But it's been 2.5 years, and I keep writing. Actually, it's one way that I practice a lot. Even if I don't have an instrument in my hand, I try to write out practice routines all the time on Sibelius. So if I've got my laptop, unfortunately none of those things are streamlined for for iPads or tablets or smartphones yet,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Get on it, guys.
Yeah, one of those guys. So now you're Sebelius, like, come on, seriously, do that already. But if I'm on the road or sitting in a van or sitting in a plane or sitting in an apartment where I just only have my computer and not my bass, I write out practice routines as much as I possibly can. So always try to stay active. So there's probably gonna be another book, at least one or two in the near future, hopefully.
Yeah, in the works.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's go back to when we first met. We met at Bass Day 2000, correct?
Yep, Bass Day 2000.
So are you and Julius there? We met, and next day by chance, I went to Rudy's Music when it was on 48th Street. Went to go check out some basses. They have amazing basses there. And who did I run into?
Yeah.
It was you, Julius, and Josh David.
That's right, Josh David, also who we had met the previous day as well at Bass Day. The three of us were all the same age, 82 boys.
Yeah.
And we were all, just in our awe of the moment at Bass Day, obviously, because the lineup was crazy. It was like Gary Willis and Marcus Miller and Victor, and I met Anthony Jackson there for the first time. And I mean, there was just so many great musicians there and hanging out backstage too and meeting everybody. But the next day we all bumped into each other again and it was great. Yeah, and you even saved my life.
Yes.
You even saved,
Yeah, we went out for pizza. Felix got me some pizza. He was a gentleman. And then we're walking.
He told me not to get the pepperoni and it saved my life because pepperoni causes
No, we're walking back to their hotel. It's a one-way street coming this way, but Felix is looking that way, and a big semi's coming. I pulled him by his gig bag, and like that, we're still here.
That's what gig bags are for. Thanks, bro.
We've lived so much life together.
I know.
Jesus
well, it's
Christ.
officially this year.
20 years.
Well, this year is officially no. It's 19 years. Well, it'll be 20 in 2020. It'll be 20.
Yeah. Go figure.
Shit. Yeah. So 2020. No, but officially this year, 1999. This year. No, what year is it? 2019. It became. I've known you more than half of my life officially this year because we were 18.
Yeah.
36 now 37. Wow, it's crazy. Yeah, we've lived many different scenarios and situations in our teens and a lot in our 20s.
Oh yeah.
And then I moved to New York 10 years ago, so mid to late 20s, and then throughout our 30s, we've done a lot and grown and become adults somewhat. And it's been fun so far. But the second time we hung out, which was the next day after Bass Day 2000, where we got to meet a lot of our bass idols and had so much fun hanging out and just we were like the whole time. The next day was hanging out, all of us bumping into each other, and yeah, you that's the reason why you should always wear a gig bag, is because someone can grab you by the gig bag if you're about to step into oncoming traffic.
Yes, and not even know.
I know. I mean, I always felt like proud knowing that I've been coming to New York since I was a kid, and like I knew how to walk the streets. But still, you never know. There's these guys. They don't stop for anybody.
No.
They'll just drive right through you. So, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for saying.
You got it. My pleasure.
But what's interesting, you hadn't been working for Fodera yet, right?
No, I didn't
Not
have
yet.
a Fodera yet.
You didn't have
I
one
had like
yet.
a Fender
Right.
Jazz 5-string.
Because I already been here.
Yes.
I'd been to this shop already. The first time I came to the shop was actually in '96 when I was 14 with my mom. Because I knew who Victor was and I knew who Anthony was, and yeah, I was. It was that day and age where I remember I used to have like a billfold, like a larger thing, not a billfold, but like a file thing, and I would do the mail. I would send my address and get all the pamphlets from all the bass companies, all the basses, because I started getting into that stuff eventually. I had like just used gear all around the house from garage sales growing up that my mom would buy, but then I started like all these new brands and luthiers that were coming out, and I just wanted to collect all of them. So I had like this little filing thing with all of them, and of course Fodera was in there early on, and yeah, I always wanted to come to the shop, and '96 was the first time I got to meet both Vinny and Joey.
Yeah, you got to remember, this is the early days of the internet. Maybe it was 28K, super slow.
Right.
Like AOL was the big thing. So just to even find pictures or videos was pretty much non-existent. You'd find text.
Totally. Yeah, so to come here in person after getting like, seeing things, advertisements in magazines and whatever, and to finally be here in person and hang out and meet the guys. And I actually was more taken aback, not even just by the instruments themselves, but just the hang. You know, everybody was so sweet. That all the guys was super chill.
The Fodera family.
Yeah, it was really wonderful. And my mom had so much fun. I never forget, we were about to leave and call a cab because this is decades before Uber or Lyft.
It was dirty, scary Brooklyn back then.
And Vinny was like, no, I'm calling you. I know a car service here. I'm gonna call and make sure that you get back to where you need to go, because we were staying in Canarsie at the time. And my mom always thought that was, super thoughtful. They already had been all day, but it was just the cap dicing. It was just like, yeah, these are good dudes. So. And then eventually you got the gig here, and I got my first Fodera when I was 21. And yeah.
Oh yeah, Vadim and I brought it down for your 21st birthday.
That's right.
At Brews Room.
Brews Room Pompano.
In Pompano.
Yeah.
Fretless Emperor 5-string.
The dichotomy between those two things, having such an amazing piece of art at a place that is nothing against Brews Room, nothing against it whatsoever. I'm not trying to, but just the scene and what was going on there, and the jukebox and the music that was there, and we have like this amazing work of art that I'm holding on the patio outside.
Yeah. Speaking of your mom, Ingrid Pastorius, I kept in touch with her via email and over the phone after that bass day 2000, and eventually she invited me to come down. I came down with Vadim, that worked at Fodera for years, so we made a pilgrimage down. We were going to visit your father's grave, and I found your address in the phone book.
Yeah, those were the days. And I remember tracking people down like that.
Vadim's like, we have their address. Why don't we go down and go knock on the door? What is he going to do?
I remember you guys knocking on the kitchen door.
Yeah?
Both of you, yeah.
Felix opens the door and welcomes us into the house, and the rest is history.
Was I wearing clothes?
You had shorts and no shirt,
Florida.
Typical Florida.
Florida vibe, yeah.
Yeah. And that was it, man. We just became tight right after that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a great journey. I never forget when you first brought your brother down too, and John met the whole family, and just playing the music that was involved. And we gravitated through music, but we hung on so many different levels. And it was really special to grow up in that environment. And also, I was doing different things. I was traveling. I was trying to make a name for myself, and working kind of already soon after that.
Yeah.
And you and my twin brother Julius, played a ton together during those years. A huge development for him and you as well, I'm sure. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Those were some great years.
Yeah, think about me going down there, me being a bass nerd, becoming friends with you.
Maybe the biggest bass nerd, really. You might be the biggest bass nerd I've ever met.
And then your mom taking me into your house with open arms, letting me read your dad's charts and going through all the history. And then Julius and I bonding together. We had our dynamic duo Shotgun Face for years, and it was such an amazing upbringing. I was so lucky.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well, we were too, man.
Yeah.
Bendy family has been great. A lot of work and play in between, and yeah, I can't imagine without it. Now we're neighbors.
Yes.
Now I'm
representing Warwick, New York.
Yeah.
Go Cats. So what's going on now? What are we doing?
Hipster
Assassins.
What are we doing? Hipster Assassins. Yeah, we are booking some stuff next year. We've got a couple one-offs here and there. We're gonna be in Denver for a minute. I think we're supposed to have something at Winter Jazz Fest. Just random things here and there. Definitely check out our social media, Instagram and Facebook, and we have a website also, hipsterassassins.com. But yeah, we trying to stay active. I don't know. It's something that I never looked at this band as this group of guys as a money-making endeavor, in terms of let's piece together this band and try to make some money gigging and touring and stuff. It was always something we just ended up doing, and I wanted to play. When I moved to New York 10 years ago, I wanted to play as much as possible and just get into the basically teaching myself schooling. The schooling that I never went through a kind of standard schooling system. So I wanted to play as much as possible. We had that 55 bar, we had that Zinc bar gig every Monday before Ron Afif, and for years, and that was some of the best schooling I've ever had. And you never knew who might walk in and sit in with us.
Demi Moore, yeah. Forrest Whitaker.
Musicians too.
Yes.
But
George Benson checked us out once.
yeah, Roy Hargrove.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, a bunch of guys.
Sat in with us.
Yeah, for sure, many times. Yeah, it was a special moment. It was never something that was more about. I was never gonna make money, in that situation. It's a late night gig, and it wasn't about that. It was just, I couldn't wait to every week get together and play some music. And then even when I started touring more and going out with different groups, it was always coming back home and making sure I got together with my friends, albeit it was going to be shorter. It wasn't going to be every week, maybe once a month or twice a month. It was more just us getting together. So I think that's still kind of the mentality with Hipster Assassins. We're not really booking crazy tours at the moment. I'd like to keep it at just the group of guys, and if we can do something, we'll do something. But if you check out our Instagram and social media, we'll be posting consistently, trying to keep updated and do some stuff. We want to travel. I know there's some fans out there for sure that would love to see. And I've been fortunate enough to get a lot of different gigs. Sorry, Mike. I've been fortunate enough to get a lot of different gigs with different people over the years, getting to travel. But I know people would love to see more of you live in person, your brother as well. So yeah, we'll do some more soon.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Bro, we're just keeping it fun and keeping it simple.
That's right. Yeah, man.
How do you think technology, the way it's exponentially advancing, is it gonna help or not be a negative in learning?
That's a hard question. I don't know. For me, I would say that as long as you still find the humanity in the music and you still find the way to personalize it, the accessibility to advance in music through repetition and learning, because there's just so much information. Whatever you need at any moment, you can go find it out. I liken it to like a video game. We're that generation, but I liken it to a video game. If you like there's certain types of games where you learn a button configuration. You learn this does this and this does this, and this is how you beat this. And it's this kind of plug and play situation where there are some musicians that are kind of like that, and the humanity and the humbleness and the respect towards the music is kind of different, because you have so much knowledge. You can pick up all this stuff and you just learn the notes, and you just learn this technique or this scale or whatever, and you fly through it. That kind of has separated itself, I think, from the humanity or the laid backness of being a musician and playing your voice and not being so cutthroat. I mean, there's amazing musicians out there that are just burning, and there's still heart for sure, obviously. But I think that technology has kind of affected that in a way. Just you can learn so much so fast.
Right.
I mean, one benefit I think is that you can be. First of all, I mentioned already once. Something, I don't know if you're going to have this in the edit, but I mentioned something about not going to school. That isn't me trying to harp on any issue other than the fact that I didn't have one teacher, but my drive to want to learn is the same as anyone else who would go to school. So regardless if you went to school or not, or if you had a teacher or not, the musicians who want to play and want to get out and work are going to have the same drive regardless of that situation. So if you are teaching yourself or you're going to school, whatever the situation is, the technology has put a little bit more of a fire underneath you, because you can see more of abundance of the musicianship or the levels that are out there. Whereas, when I was coming up, I definitely slacked for many, many years, because I didn't feel, not that it's a threat. You shouldn't think of it as a threat, but the level of the standardized level out there has risen so much. Right. And you could see it in certain circles if you move to certain cities at certain points, but because of social media and technology, you can see around the world what's happening, literally, so it has enabled musicians to maybe feel a little more inspired. Have the fire lit under them a little more and be like, okay, let's push the envelope more. So it might be positive, but again, as long as you find your own personal voice, that's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing to do. So, pros and cons.
Learn to forget.
Yeah, totally.
Let it flow.
That's right. Yeah, that's a Victor thing for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Felix.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Michael,
taking time out.
Eric Bendikowski, pleasure.
Yes. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to episode 3.
Awesome.
Happy holidays. Ladies and gentlemen, custom of the week. Here we go. This week, we have this amazing Imperial 5 Custom. Have you ever seen anything like this? Features a solid Brazilian rosewood top with matching pickup covers, non-exposed poles. It is a roasted beauty. Has a bird's eye maple roasted fingerboard. As discussed in episode 1, this custom features Brazilian rosewood block inlays. Check that out. And with matching butterfly to boot. Have the lighter sapwood and the dark Brazilian rosewood in there. One of the coolest Foderas ever. Also has the double body veneer. Check this out. Roasted ash body, roasted alder tone block, 5-piece roasted maple neck with purple heart stringers, triple body veneer. One of the coolest basses I've ever seen. It's for my good friend Michael Rashid. I can't wait for him to get it. This is the coolest. Let's hear how this baby sounds, shall we? Top of the week. Today we got this amazing piece of Japanese maple. Ever seen something so beautiful like that? Look at this. Look at this. Unbelievable. Goes from dark red to light pink to blonde. You never see Japanese maple like this. But we got it here at Fodera. For those of you that may not know, this color is all natural. Coming right from the source, from Mother Earth. Look at that grain. Looks like fire. Hit me up, info@fodera.com. That's the top of the week, Japanese maple. For those of you attending the upcoming NAMM show in Anaheim, California, Joey, Daniel, and I will be attending from the 16th to the 19th. So we hope to see you all there. If you want to meet up, please send us an email to info@fodera.com and we could schedule a meeting. Thank you for watching episode 3 with one of my best friends, my brother from another mother, Felix Pastorius. We're signing off for now. We'll see you next year in 2020. Get ready.
I want to see all the editing. That's a lot, the funny stuff, because that's.
Oh yeah, the bloopers of the.
Oh my God, that's so much fun.
That's what she said.
Cut it out.
No. Don't mean nothing. Shoot the shit, video. Hey.
Yeah, there was. Remember that one time?
You ever want to see Fodera get smashed? Well, you won't see it today. Will it blend?
In a blender?
Yeah.
Great to see you. Thank you
Yeah,
for having me. Thanks for saying
You got it.
That was
My
lovely.
pleasure.
Thanks, bro.
Well, we were too, man.
For
Michael,
taking time out.
Eric Bendikowski, pleasure.
Okay. Too hot, bro.
Fire.
Yeah.